And we're fortunate to have with us this morning to talk about some of the challenges facing African American youth today, Dr. EKSanford from Tennessee State University. Dr. Sanford, let me welcome you to the show and to tell you how delighted we are to have you here. And I'm almost sure that some of my viewers can recall having seen you on this particular show on a number of occasions since over the last few years.
Absolutely.
And so, again, we're simply delighted to have you back with us and to deal with the topic that we want to deal with this morning, some of the challenges faced by African American youth. You've talked about African American youth in terms of institutional racism. You've given us a lot of information about the health and well-being of African American youth. And so we thought that it might be appropriate now to call you back and to have you to deal with that kind of information for our audience this morning. But before we get into that, Dr. Sanford, let's have you to give us some information about EKSanford, your background and some of the information, and then we'll get into the topic for the morning.
Absolutely, and thank you again for having me on. I am Dr. EKSanford. I'm a professor of sociology at Tennessee State University. I did my postdoc degree at Penn State University in State College, Pennsylvania. Did my PhD at Howard University in Washington, D.C. My undergraduate at UNC and North Carolina Central University in Durham and Chapel Hill, North Carolina. I'm originally from Oxford, North Carolina. All my degrees were in the social science, sociology area. Had an opportunity to do a small time at the Institute for Social Research at the University of Michigan. And I was very proud of that as an opportunity as well, looking at social problems and issues that impacted urban and rural areas throughout the United States and abroad.
You know, and of course, one of the challenges, and I think since you mentioned the urban area and et cetera, I think one of the challenges that youth face today has to deal with the urban area in a real sense. And as a matter of fact, it sort of recalls some of the things that both of us are familiar with during the 1960s and et cetera, and et cetera. But let's look at some of the challenges. I think we've got about 2 minutes before this first segment ends for the day. Let's look at some of the challenges, Dr. Sanford, in terms of the African American youth today, which is to say that we understand that this is not the only group that we're concerned with, but this is a major problem in American society today. So what are some of the challenges that you see in reference to this group today?
Absolutely, it's a great challenge. As a matter of fact, here we are in 2014 on the brink of celebrating President Lyndon Johnson's war on poverty. So that challenge was